what I'm saying. So what made it feel fake was the Chris Rock's reaction. He ate it like nothing happened. He took it on the chin like nothing happened. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't really get that he kind of his reaction was what made it fake. I think what made it a little bit fake at first was the fact that Will Smith was laughing at the joke. And then he seen his wife's, reaction. And then Chris Rock started talking. Well, that's the way the camera view that I saw. Then he started talking, and then he was like, "Uh-oh." And he walked up there, nice, calm, cool, collect.
And then he walked off from that nice, calm.
Open hand smacked him. And then he was like, but you seen it in when Will Smith turned around, you seen it in his face that like that was not a joke.
I still don't think so, man.
I did.
Nigga was smirking when he was walking off.
Nah, that was one of them nervous, like, yeah, I just did that. Oh shit, looks. That wasn't like, ha ha ha, great job acting look. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't get it that way.
Then when he sat down, when he said what he said
4 or 5 times after he did it.
Then when he sat down, I was like, "Oh, this is for real." And then Chris Rock was stuttering over his words at the end. That's when I knew it was real. Yeah.
That's when he was like, "Wait a minute, nigga, what just fucking happened?"
Yeah. He was like, "I can do it," and then he just kind of went on. I was like, "Oh yeah, this."
And what solidified it was when the old boy started cursing. I've never seen him come out of character like that.
That's what I said. Yeah, when he was
like, got a whole song saying, and I did it without cursing. You know what I'm saying? He said it in his raps, and now he's over here. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Yeah, he went in. Yeah, you see Shorty that was sitting behind him. The girl that played in damn, what was the movie? Was it
the black girl that was behind him?
Yeah, Lupita.
Yeah,
you see how she was looking at him at first? She didn't even know how to like.
She was like,
right. Yeah.
Is this a joke?
Right. You see how Samuel, when he won the Oscar, how Samuel L. Jackson slapped him up?
Yo.
I'm gonna keep it real. That was disrespectful. He was like, "I've been wanting to slap."
my question is, if it wasn't Chris Rock and it was somebody else. Is it the same outcome? Not even outcome. Does he even make that move?
Let me ask you a question. If the comedian was white, you think he's doing that?
Hell no.
You think he's walking around slapping a dude and he's not getting repercussions, press charges on with a white dude?
100%. 100%.
Not at all. Not at all. So you guys take the stance that he was wrong for that, right?
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah!
I'm gonna keep it. He's a coward. Me.
She was corny. It was corny. I will say this, that he probably did find it funny, but then when he saw his wife's reaction, all of a sudden,
I don't like this shit. I don't like this.
He had to go in there. He couldn't stand his ground, right? He couldn't stand on the square. He had to maneuver now and go, oh shit, hold on. She don't like that.
That's exactly what he said.
She don't like that.
Exactly. Yep. That's why I wish that the camera was on him.
It's either me or you. And it ain't me. And that's how
I saw I think it was like a TikTok or something like that where Gilly the Kid, I think Gilly said $1 million worth of game. Gilly, he was like, Will Smith and me got a lot in common. And then he showed his wife sleeping in the bed. He was like, if somebody say something about 2, it's over, right? So he was basically digging into it a little bit. He was saying that, everybody wife, they got that look. Stop playing with me. I'm not happy right now.
Facts.
Nigga, somebody better pop.
Facts.
And Jada gave him that somebody better pop. Look, and he ain't have it. It was like, nigga,
that's cool
the switch went off.
That's cool and all, but
I don't agree with Gilly either.
I'm gonna tell you right now. She can look at me all you want. I'm not slapping this thing out in front of millions of people in a white man's platform.
Right.
I see him behind the stage and whoop him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if he really wanted to stomp him out, right, that he should have waited till it was at backstage or after the show or whatnot. He could have picked the time and play if he really felt that way, even though,
But I'm sure they have conversation. I mean, they're not strangers to one another.
That's what's worse, my guy.
They're not strangers to one another. So if you say something or I don't know if they're friends or however they have
We
communication.
would no longer be friends.
Right. Even if they were, they weren't, no matter what, you still have some type of relationship with that person where you could be like, after,
reach out.
After yo, bro, let me holler at you. Like, as soon as this show over, I'm pulling up. Like, boom, whatever. That type of thing, if that's the energy you got. But right there, right then, that didn't happen.
What's the energy? The only thing he said was H.G.R.G, bro.
Yeah, it wasn't even that crazy, bro. It wasn't even that crazy.
It wasn't that crazy, and I'm not taking his side at all, but it wasn't that crazy to maybe you and I, but only he knows the pain, that his wife is going through with that
doesn't matter.
Disease
doesn't matter.
You know what I'm saying?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't. He's a comedian. He's roasting everyone.
That's a point right there.
You know, he's roasting. He's roasting everybody there. That's what he's paid to do. Mm-hmm. Right? You're a power couple. You're sitting up front. Right, and you not only that, you're nominated for probably the biggest award of the night, mm-hmm. and he takes a stab at you. And listen, they've been in the news for 2 years straight. And maybe that was the lead up to this because my man's been getting played. He's been looking like
who falls it?
Yeah, but I think
his wife.
Everything you're saying,
for you and you ain't jumping for me.
Yeah, but everything you're saying on every point you made is a fact. You're everything is 100% correct.
DT, I know.
I think the problem with that particular, the way he, like, if he would have made a joke about the entanglement, I think it would have been laughs. Ha ha ha. Everything's good. I think that being that the joke was about his wife's sickness, because like I said, initially when Will heard the joke, it was funny to him. But when he saw his wife's reaction to the joke about her sickness, and he knows the tears she shed. He knows the shit that she goes through, how hard this is for her emotionally to go through what she's going through. And for somebody to play off of that, plus all the bullshit that he's been dragged for a couple of years, I think that was just
that doesn't mean he knows.
But you gave me smoke for all the years you got hit for. It wasn't a joke that killed you. You killed me because you're tired of the bullshit. Well, I wasn't part of the bullshit.
Well, we may see it that way, right?
I would believe it's that.
But in Will, and we don't know, but I mean, I would think possibly in Will's eyes, maybe it wasn't really all that. I'm not here to give you a couple years worth of pain. And listen, she just gave me that look, and that's it. Because I'm going through some shit at home. My lady going through some shit, and she's physically, emotionally, she ain't the same, and nobody deals with these tears like that. So when the day she finally gets courage enough to go out and chill, and somebody pulls up and says some crazy shit, I don't know how I'm going to handle it. I don't think I'd smack somebody in front of 100 million people or even 20 people. But I'm just saying,
you're taking it out of context, DT. Right? Okay. It's a comedian, at a show that's hired to roast people. And he may not even know the sickness that she's going through. But that's what comedians do. You may see someone in the crowd that's blind or in a wheelchair, and I've seen them get at those people, right? Well, how would it look if you make fun of this person, they go, Skip, this person? That's not how comedy goes. Yeah. It's no holds bars. It's for everybody, and that's how they rock. And you got to understand that. And Will Smith, being a funny guy and being that comedic type of actor, I mean, would have understand. He did laugh. He probably does have the understanding, right? But in that moment, he felt like he had to be brave and stand up for his wife, when really there was so many other ways he could have handled that.
Which I agree. I don't think he handled that the right way.
It's absolutely terrible. I don't even think he should be mad at it. I mean, even if he was, he could have gone up there, accepted the award, and then maybe took a shot at Chris Rock there.
Or like we said, after the show, have a conversation or whatever that looks like.
Point though, D, we don't know his feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and you made that rare because we don't know his. Yeah, but I agree with you, Lens, but I'm not saying that. I'm just saying to his point. If would he have done it if he was white? Feelings are not feelings.
I mean, nobody knows. If
I wouldn't believe so.
Drunk. I don't think so.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Feelings are not feelings.
Yeah.
More consequences come with that. That's why, though. Yeah. There's more consequences that come with that.
Oh, 1,000%.
Chris Rock is like
because of that.
Yep.
You get canceled because of that.
Yeah, that's a fact. They were saying that this morning on the radio. On Charlamagne and DJ Envy was saying that this morning on the radio. If it would have been you know, a white comedian or just a white person in general, you know, would he have done that? And if he would have done that, they probably would have stopped the show and he would have went to jail.
It would have been
at least, at the very least, he would have got kicked out.
Right. Right.
My man still got
and arrested.
My man
and arrested.
got the award.
He got
and
the
was
award,
dancing.
and then went out afterwards to celebrate. Like everything split. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell you right now, if I was Will Smith, he would have had to see me. He'd have had to see me.
I'm telling you right now.
He'd have had to see me.
First of all, the show is over. Second is you killed me on public TV. Every time I see you, there's gonna be a problem. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
we're gonna be those black people in every show. We're gonna be that. I'm telling you, you're not. Son, I'm telling you, you're not. Yo, son, now Chris Rock is a butt of a joke, regardless of the fact.
This ain't going nowhere.
How do you feel?
Going nowhere, fellas.
Let me ask you this: how do you guys feel about, you know, what just happened? You know, being African-American gentlemen, right? And knowing the steps forward that at least they're trying to make, you know, instead of the Oscar so white movement, you know, you had a lot more ethnicity, right? You had a lot more color. The room was darker, as they're saying, in the Oscars, right? And I think they even allowed the producer, the movie producer, the gentleman
to produce the show.
To even produce the show, right? And
they even allowed. I like that.
They allowed them. Yeah, how do you guys feel now? Okay, now that they let, you know, some darkness in the room, if you will, or they allowed people, you know, of ethnicity, of culture, if you will, in the room or to coordinate things, and then this shit happens. What do you think that the rollback?
100%. We took 100 steps back.
It's crazy.
Even the one, they know what they say. Even the ones with money don't know how to act. You see?
This is all I'm saying, man. Now we're back to being monkeys again. We're right there. We took 100 steps back. My man got an Oscar. They cried. Will Smith is a fucking legend. And we do not talk about him getting an award. We talk about him slapping Chris Rock.
I think.
What are we talking about?
Chris Rock.
That's what he said.
Oh, I thought you said Chris Brown. That shit came in Chris Brown.
Chris
Brown. You think about dancing, Bob?
He's like Rihanna. We good with that. I'm just saying. We slapping people on Rose Rock.
They're like, listen, we're gonna let one in at a time next year. You know what I'm saying?
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's sad, man, because you know you see so much, you know, you see so many injustices happening on a regular basis that, you know, it's been so normal in our country since its birth, right? And little, when you feel like you're taking a little bit of steps and, you know, starting to see a little bit more inclusion, you know, it just, you know, shit like this happens. And then it just solidifies.
Did we not learn with Judge Brown?
Judge Brown.
Who's getting crucified from the Congress?
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy. Buried, bro.
That's crazy. Hey, that's one lady right there. I'll tell you right now. God forbid I know anybody anybody that I know gets convicted of a crime or is in the middle of a situation or even going through an appellate division court to the Supreme Court. I want her to be on that stage, man.
What are we talking about?
I want her to be on that stage, bro. That lady right there, bro.
We just seen racism in full effect.
The class that lady has. I don't know nothing about her history. I don't know nothing about, but just watching the stuff that I've seen on social media and like on the news that I've been watching.
I watched all
her patience and her class and my man, she didn't even blink.
My man Cruz was talking about a book, about a racist book. What does that have to do with the judge?
Crazy.
But with all that being said, no one's really going to talk about that. What's going to catch headlines is Will Smith. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? He should be celebrated right now. Mm-hmm. We should be on here. We should be doing our other podcasts.
As should she. She should be celebrated just the same.
1,000%.
You're right, but he should be. What I mean is, you know, just to be clear, is that he's receiving this guy. I tell you what, you know, I got a lot of love for Will Smith, man. A lot of things that he would do, I would mimic, especially with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. With my oldest daughter, I watch Bel-Air, the new series that's out. You know, I really respect what he's done, his grind. And, and where he's come from as far as being a rapper to then transition into being an actor.
Where he stands right now, absolutely.
I mean, the guy's amazing. He does all these, every role you could think of. I mean, his range is so great. It's not even funny, and that's him crafting that.
And
that's somebody you look up to.
Up until now, his image has been untarnished.
Absolutely. The only person that's tarnished his image is his wife. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying?
But even still, he's danced around that.
Still danced around it.
He didn't do as good of a job dancing around that as Judge Brown did, but he did a damn good job. He looked like Mayweather on the ropes when it came to that entanglement.
And your man out here making songs about entanglement.
Yeah.
You won't slap Chris Rock for him saying G.I.G, bro.
That's also a fact. Where's that same energy?
That's why I think it didn't really bother him too crazy, because the whole entanglement thing, I mean, according to, I don't know their life, but according to like what you see in media, they have open relationship, they have this, they have this, they have that. And she definitely embarrassed him. And she admittedly, they even had the talk on her show, and they sat at the table, and he kind of like, he was like, yeah, what we got is what, he didn't say in these words, but yeah, what we got is what we got. But you crossed the line on this one. You know what I'm saying? And he listened to her, but he also kind of, not
voicing opinion.
Right. He's like entanglement. Say what you did.
Right. Exactly. Like don't dance around. What you did. So in my brain, that shit for him is like, okay, I'm not saying he was happy about it, because obviously he wasn't, but that's it, believe it or not, that was easier by I think by 100-fold for him to deal with than it was for him to. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if you guys have, and I hope you guys never do. If you haven't, have you ever been around somebody who has suffered from an illness that emotionally, like literally changes the person who they are, and they go into like a deep, deep depression, and like, they finally break out of that depression. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if you've ever been around a situation like that, and somebody mentions even slightly a disrespect comment, jokingly or not, towards that person that brings them back to that space.
1,000%.
I can understand, especially if it's your wife or your daughter or your mother, somebody who's
not the situation here.
But what I'm trying to explain, not to try to explain, what he should have done was forward. I want to say it. What he did at the end, he should have started with that.
Which part?
Keep your name out. Keep my wife's name out. Yeah. Start with that first.
Yeah.
Right. Chris Rock said some wild shit. Then you get up and slap the shit out of him.
Right. Well, not even. Not even.
Yeah. Not even.
Or you could just give him a look like, I'm gonna see you. But I understand what you're saying, right? Because now people start to side with you more because you gave them a fair warning.
Right.
Yes.
And they're like, listen, I gave you fair warning.
Yeah.
You pushed me.
Yeah.
You knew where I stood.
So do you believe Will Smith gave him a fair fight, a fair chance to block himself?
What's the question?
Did Will Smith give him a fair time to block himself?
That he was about to give him a slap.
No,
no, he came in with his head down.
Because what people are saying from comments before when I was reading before was he gave him enough warning walking up there.
No, because I mean, there's no way in the world on God's green earth that Chris Rock in his life thought that this man was walking up there for anything. His hands were
behind his back.
Yeah, I'm sure that Chris Rock, that's why he was like, he even kind of made a joke out of him walking up. He was probably expecting some type of,
some kind of monologue or some kind of Kanye West
joke out of it. Yeah, exactly. Something like that. Never was he expecting him to go up there and, give him a bofetada. He wasn't expecting that. He wasn't expecting that.
My man gave him pop-out.
Yeah, he gave him pop-out. So, let me ask you this. What do you think about the people? Well, actually, Lance, you were about to say something. My bad.
Yeah, I was going to say something real quick. So at the end of the day, damn, what was I going to say about we should just, here's what I was going to say. Excuse me, is that
there's no excuse.
I didn't see there wasn't something that Chris Rock said, and then it panned to Will Smith and Will Smith's having a good time, and Chris Rock says it, and he goes, hold on, what? It wasn't that. he was laughing, woo. And then his wife, but if you see how his wife's reaction though, it's total opposite.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Hold on. Once she transferred that energy to him and she challenged him,
it's go time.
It's go time.
It's go time. Whatever that look was, his interpretation of that look was, it's go time.
Like, I gotta do something.
That's what I'm saying.
It's turn up time. Now,
that's what I'm saying.
I disagree.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. I agree. And I honestly, if you not to defend anybody, but I don't think Jada would mean it like that. I don't think Jada would ever want Will Smith to put himself in a situation where, the outcome is that he looks like that. I don't think if you asked her, would she ever mean for him to get up right now?
That as well.
I disagree with you.
I don't think so. I think
have you listened to any of the Red Talk Table? I mean, she has crushed this guy.
Nah, I don't know about that. I disagree.
Come on, man. Come on.
She's made him foolish. Did you see the meme where he was like, when after it happened, they got like Jada's face and they were like, well, Jada said Tupac would have shot him.
Yeah, Tupac would have shot him.
That shit ain't right.
You see everything with August because I mean that's what I'm saying. Like, all this has been brought up.
No, my question to that answer right there when you said Jada wouldn't want, what did she, even though she's in an open relationship like you said, D,
allegedly,
even if she is, they're dragging Will Smith. Mm-hmm. Where are you when they're dragging Will Smith? We didn't hear anything go, wait.
Where's that protection from your wife?
I got an answer for that, because a lot, most of the celebrities, they like, if you say anything crazy about them, your best answer sometimes is just not respond, right?
But you do though. But they did.
Got a whole damn talk show.
Well, they did.
Your talk show is like this, right? We create content for what's going on. It doesn't necessarily like this. It has nothing to do with us, but it has everything to do with the culture. Right. So we have an opinion based off, on the culture, whatever, what that looks like. But now if it's directly affecting us, like, we never get out here and talk about, our personal situations and what happened in life. But this is not what we do. That's not the content of the show. Her show is about her life and is about that. So she does that. Prior to that, you've never heard Jada and Will being in the news talking about what they've been going through. And they've been in that type of relationship for 20-something, 30 years, right? So what changed is that she decided to create content through Red Table Talk and open herself up to that. That's but
it opens up Will as well. You see what I'm saying? So,
and he's taking that shit like a champ.
And then so he's not the beneficiary of her talk show.
Nor does he care.
But he's good.
He has to. He has to obviously care now, because there's no way that joke caused this.
The only
that's a buildup. That's a buildup.
I agree that there's a buildup.
I agree with that.
And part of what I was saying earlier. So let me go to that. The only variable that you're missing is that it's a possibility. I'm not saying this is it because I don't know, but I'm just throwing it out there. The possibility does exist that there is a buildup. But that buildup has nothing to do with Red Table Talk, August, and all that other shit, right? Let me explain why.
Go ahead.
Let me explain why.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
So part of the buildup can be he knows and he's seen her frustrations, crying. That's a portion of it. What she's going through, he knows how hard it is for her, so on and so forth. That's a part of it, right? The other part of it can be
the actual sickness. You're saying.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Why she's bald headed and why he referenced the joke G.I. Jane, and because that's why he said it. G.I. Jane 2. I'm waiting for it. You're going to be the person or whatnot, right? Because she's bald headed because of her sickness. Now, that's part of the buildup. And that was the icing on the cake when he made that comment. But the other part that, to me, there has to be something else, to your point, that made him go overboard like that. What could it be? I mean, I'm a firm believer. A wise man once told me, when a man talks, believe him, right? So when he got on stage and he made his speech and his statement, everything in his statement was a lot of stuff that he's dealing with self.
Yeah, protecting this and protecting that.
God is talking to me how to be loved, and he's putting me through this. Yeah. Denzel told me, So none of that was really like in reference to like people have been, slandering my name and my wife's name for this.
Yeah, yes, it was. Listen to it again, because he says, I know in this industry, you got to have tough skin and people are going to talk about you. And he says all that.
Which what I would say is in reference to at that moment.
Absolutely not. You know why he said keep my name, your wife, my name out my mouth? She was for the streets 5 minutes ago.
She what?
She was for the streets.
Oh, I like it. Talk
She
heavy.
was for the streets five minutes ago.
What does that mean?
Tell me more.
What does that mean?
She was getting dragged. She's a slut. She's a hoe. She's this.
Freak.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, she would get dragged too because people love Will Smith, man.
He had to take all that. Yo, Will, we love you, but your wife, so she got to go. He had to take all that. So now a G.I. Jane, and he didn't even say nothing about the hair. I seen you going for the G.I.G. movie. I love it. Can't wait to see it. Come on.
Why did he say that?
You know he's referencing the head. For sure.
You could say that, but it wasn't said.
No,
it could have been worse. The joke. He could have been, and look at your bald ass over here. You're gonna be in the G.I.J. You know, he could have made it hit a little harder.
Did you also see when because he watched her when he said it?
Yes,
and he saw her roll her eyes.
Yes,
he was like,
"Come
on, he was like, what? That was light."
Yep.
And that's another thing too, to show that it was lighthearted.
Yeah. He's like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, I see you going. Listen, it wasn't even that bad.
I'm 100%. I'm 100% on board, and I support. I do not think Chris Rock did anything wrong. I don't think he did anything distasteful. I think he was like probably more of a man than most of us would have been in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think even the joke, even him as a comedian, you're right. He has the ability, and that's what he gets paid for. That's what he's known for, right? He has the ability to be a lot more harsher than that if he wanted to, right? He could have said like what you said,
and which we all know him for.
Yeah, he could have went up there and said, "Look at this bald ass motherfucker with this green dress on."
Exactly.
Like that. Like he could have went up there and said that clearly. He definitely could have did that, and he didn't do it. So I think he was very tasteful in what he said, and to his point, if she is going through some emotional, real, depression and issues because of her sickness, that is a real thing in which he may not understand. He may not know.
Understand.
But it's also partially his responsibility to consider if he cares enough to consider. And as a comedian, I think you're kind of exempt to a certain extent for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
So two-part question for me. First off, one question is, did you see him had to catch his words saying, I could have gave you, you know what?
Yep. I think he was going to say, I can make this go real crazy right now.
Facts.
That's what I think he was thinking. And when
Jerry would have said, fuck you and your bitch right on TV.
Right, I don't think exactly. He was in his brain. He's like, man, I could say whatever I want to say right now and steal the show.
And he's good to go.
And I'm good. Number two is I can go crazy on pressing charges and
all that
life up right now. Number three is I got money, bro.
We both got money. I got it, though.
You got money, I got money, but I got money right now, and I can get you dragged right now. I know you got money right now too, but I'll spend whatever right now to get you dragged. If that's what what I'm saying, if that's what I want to do. Will Smith can combat that. He got bread, all that shit. I'm not saying that's what it is, but I'm just saying that's three different mentalities that he probably had at that moment. But thank God, as a stand-up man that he is, he sees one thing about certain people, like it amazes me to see how fast they process information. Even in the midst of like a tragedy, like the craziest scenario, like a bomb can drop right now, right? And there's certain, God forbid, and there's certain people that as soon as they feel the shaking, they're already playing 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Right.
There's other people that when it drops, they freeze for like 30 minutes. And then there's other people that are like, they process the information, but they don't know which way to go.
Correct.
Him, on the other hand, while the shit just started shaking, he's already thinking of what's my next best move. How am I going to best represent myself? What, you know what I'm saying? Like he's so.
And then he picked the best lane that he thought was proper in that moment. So that was calculated. I agree.
Live on TV in front of millions.
That's a great point, DT.
To the highest standard, because this isn't like somebody told you the story. We got video footage to cover it.
Let me start with the DT. So that's a great point. So what happened here is that you had one person that was calculated and one person that didn't calculate anything.
Emotional.
Didn't realize you're on the biggest stage. You're on a platform that's not really, that's not really dominated by you.
I beg to differ. I know he realized where he was at before he got up. And mind you, he had to take like 25, 30 steps to get to where he was going.
You better preach that again.
Each one of those steps, he understood what he was doing.
So you think it was calculated?
100%, bro. You don't make that's not a mistake.
So it was emotional at first, but when you're already walking,
it's 25 guys. It's 15 steps. Your emotion don't go nowhere in 15 steps if you're emotional. Let's keep it into reality here.
Well,
right?
But the difference is that act was triggered by emotions, right? By something that happened. Your emotions,
correct,
triggered you to make that act.
Correct.
As you're walking through into that place,
you're committing.
All those events that follow are considered a crime of passion.
Correct. You're committing.
That's not premeditated. There's a
right. That's what I'm saying. It's emotion, right? I'm saying right. So it's not. It wasn't planned out. Like,
no.
So you make my point.
But when you're when I'm saying
you understood what you were doing as
correct. When you got up, it's emotion. I want to fight.
Yeah.
Okay. But when you're walking to fight, now you're committing to fight now.
Yeah. It's
you
a crime
could
of
walk
passion.
up and say, my man, chill.
So you can say, so he could have still got up and saved himself and keep my wife's name out your mouth.
Yeah. Something in that.
And then sat back down.
He could have walked up to the stage.
Right.
And when he got up to walk to the stage, in his mind, he was like, I'm going to slap the shit out of this dude. And then on his way to the stage, his ration, like Chris Rock's was, could have like taken over could have superseded his emotions. His intelligence would have, and should have superseded his intelligence. And then once he actually got to Chris Rock, instead of doing what he did, he could have just simply said, and walked off.
And you know what Chris Rock would have said?
He would have been
yo, guys, I'm sorry that I even made that joke.
Right.
Simple as that. He could have did that.
Obviously, he's the bigger man.
Right.
Correct.
Right. But just to be clear, if you go to trial, right? If this is a case, an assault case, murder case, let's call it a murder case. That would be considered a crime of passion. That is not premeditated murder.
It's called manslaughter. It's called manslaughter.
Second question to my first question would, if Dave Chappelle is the one rapping, what happens?
He never gets up.
I don't know if he walks up to that stage.
I know he ain't walking. Dave Chappelle got bigger, no homo.
Yeah, absolutely. He lifting.
Yeah.
He lifting. I dare you go slap this dude and think he not slapping you back.
Yeah. But here's
the problem with Dave Chappelle.
Let me play devil's advocate. He'll
risk it all always. Dave Chappelle risks it all always.
Yeah, let me play devil's advocate though, right? Play devil's advocate, right? So there's a video which I just learned now. I never knew this until this happened. I saw it on like TikTok or whatever. Will Smith was doing like a red carpet event somewhere else, and a news reporter came up to him and gave him a hug.
He slapped him.
A white dude. So he gave him a hug and
tried to kiss him.
And then he tried to kiss him in the mouth. Mm-hmm. And Will Smith pushed him back. And when he pushed him back, he said, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And he slapped him in his face, like he backhanded him in his face. And then he was like, "This dude just tried to kiss me in my mouth," and he walked off. He was a white guy, and he did that to him. So that kind of that was a viral moment for Will Smith.
Well, he was justified in that one.
I mean, yes, he was.
It was viral, but it wasn't at the same time.
Right. Up until, it wasn't as viral as this, but it was viral. Yeah, it right. So to play devil's advocate, he's not, white or black, regardless of what that looks like. It's not like he won't do something to somebody else that he would do. But I'm saying to our point, would it depend? Like if that was, a white comedian up there, would he have done the same thing? I don't think so at all. If it was Dave Chappelle, would he have done the same thing? I don't think so at all. I don't know that to be a fact, but I don't think so. But nevertheless, what I can say we can bet our bottom dollar on is that if that would have been a white man, a white anything, then that man would be right now out on bail, facing charges.
With a lawsuit coming right down the pipe, baby.
Cancel culture would have been the realest thing ever for him right now. It would have probably
been taken away.
They would have stripped his Grammy 100%, 100%.
Because if you see LAPD was on it too. I mean, they even released a statement like we're aware of the situation.
How cool is Chris Rock saying I'm good, right? After getting bodied on TV.
How crazy
does it get? Is that, kid?
And then how crazy does this go though? Right? Chris Rock goes through that situation, right?
Netflix special.
Now you got on video, and then after the shit, interviews of people saying, "I'm proud of Will." Women, African American women in particular. I saw one Caucasian lady say something similar, but the ones that they interviewed, and it wasn't a mistake, they did this strategically. Mind you, that I say that they did this strategically. They interviewed a lot of African American women after the show and asked them, "How do you feel? You know, was Will whatever?" And there's some that are more famous than others, but they stood and they boasted on a black man standing up for a black woman, and you know, a husband standing up for his wife, and what that looks like, and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I have to say that I understand that concept, and I understand that theory, that thought, but it just don't look good.
I can understand it.
It don't
There's
look
time and a place for.
I was just about to say that. You never heard that saying? There's a time and a place.
There's a time and a place for that.
Don't look good.
That wasn't the time nor the place.
Yeah. If you were if it was different, I'm gonna give you a prime example. Somebody rah.
Cat Williams.
Let's go with Cat Williams. No. I'm talking about on the opposite side. If he was really about that life, Will Smith.
Oh, so 50 Cent.
50 Cent. If 50 Cent would have slapped the dude at Chris Rock, we would have looked back and said, yeah, you shouldn't have said that about 50 Cent. I understand. It would have been that smooth.
Right.
But Will Smith, you're not about that. You've been, just like you said, his name has been impeccable until right now.
Mm-hmm. Even then, it's still kind of played, just Jerry, because if you know backstory, stuff like that with 50 Cent and Ja-Rule, they cross paths on a plane. Yeah. Right? They got on the same plane. Nothing happened there because they know that's a federal offense. They're going bye-bye. I mean, there's a time and there's a place, and they have real issues.
Yeah.
Like real issues. So and they both knew there's a time and a place for everything. Mm-hmm. This is not the club. Mm-hmm. Right? This is the airplane where there's no knocking them out and then getting out of there.
Yeah.
You know, the police are waiting for you as soon as you off board that. You know, so my thing is, you know, you got to know when. You know, and that place was, and that time was not when.
Yeah.
You know, just point blank. It's a bad look, man. And I love Will, but this is.
I always like to say, man, I'm the first person to say, and I believe this with all my heart, right? It's easy to play Monday night quarterback. It's easy to say if it would have been me, I would have did this. If that was my situation, you know, you could play devil's advocate or, you know, put yourself in the position if you're Will or if you're Chris Rock. And, you know, it's easy. I would have did. I would have, you know, I always say, man, you never know how you would react to a situation until you're actually in it. You know what I'm saying? So even when I make this commentary, I speak for myself. I can't speak for anybody else. You know, I don't speak to say I'm not a tough Tony. I've never been that guy. You know, I'm not. If I was Chris Rock, I would have knocked Will Smith out. I'm not that guy. I don't know what would have happened. I don't know what I would have done. I know that I'm not.
So you let people slap you.
I know that I'm not a thinker like that, though. I know that I don't really have that Chris Rock patience. I know that it's either on or off for me. There's really no in between.
It doesn't matter. So you said the tough Tony. I don't mean to cut you off, but you're saying that, you know, I'm not tough Tony or whatnot, right? But everybody has a line. Mm-hmm. Everybody has a line. Mm-hmm. Most men, when you slap them, understand that the chances are there's a repercussion for that.
No, most men or women
getting spit in the face.
Most human beings,
right? I'm just saying as men, right? Mono, right? Man versus man, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. You smack me, and this is for the world. You smack me, win, lose, or draw, we have an issue. I promise you.
But that's not really everybody's reality, though.
Yeah, right? and I get it, but for most men, I wouldn't
even say most men are like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't say most men are like that.
Tell me more.
I would say that some people are like that, some people are not, and then I would say there's some in betweens. It depends on the situation. It depends on, like I said about the bomb. If you're walking, you know, if you go outside your yard, right, and somebody, you know, pushes your kid, and you go outside because they push your kid, it's go time, right? So that's
not to say Chris Rock is a sucker. I want to be very clear on that. I'm not saying Chris Rock is a sucker, because my thing is, you know, I guess from the experiences I've had, I wouldn't have been able to think that through.
Right. You know,
I'm on national TV. This could ruin my career. Those people looking at us like animals now. If I go ahead and I get to rumbling on the stage with this guy.
Upbringing, product of your environments,
Yeah.
Situation, scenarios that you've been accustomed to. You have a mentality that comes from your experiences in your life, right? There's millions of other people. There's a whole different demographic of people that grew up in a different situation that have never been faced with some of your realities, right? I have family members that are married to people that violence is not even a part of culture. Like putting hands, like I know people who are in their 50s and 60s years old that never had a physical confrontation with anybody ever.
Right.
I personally can't fathom a life like that.
Right.
It's not a good thing. I wish that I did come up in that type of environment where having a physical altercation was not, reality. When they're 50, 60, 70, they can literally say, I've never had to put my hands on somebody. So for somebody that comes up in a place like that, you have to realize that I don't know what I would do if a guy slapped me. That would be their response. Like they don't know. They don't know. They don't know. So, yes, you would think that from where you come from, the type of person you are, that's your reality.
And just the sheer embarrassment, what I'm saying, touching my nerves. You touch my nerves like that, where you're embarrassing me in front of millions of people, and I got to keep it cool. And on top of that, you're supposed to be the man of the hour. Yeah.
And consider all things. Will Smith is a big guy. Will Smith is in shape.
Yeah.
Chris Rock is an older man. Chris Rock ain't in the same shape as Will Smith. Things, I'm not saying that he thought about these things, but I'm just saying, like, other people would think like that. Other people would be like, oh my man, this man just
and that's why you do.
I'm gonna get washed on national TV.
But it goes a little deeper than just Chris Rock. Tell me else who won a Grammy there that night.
So nobody.
I can't tell you.
Can't tell you.
All you know is Will Smith.
So number one, to be quite honest with you, I don't watch the Grammys.
Oh, no, but in anybody's eyes.
Yeah,
because I watched the Grammys. I don't.
Yeah,
I can't tell you who else won.
Yeah, I don't watch.
All I can tell you is Will Smith slapped Chris Rock.
I knew you were gonna say it. See, I got you.
You won't make me say it.
I don't know.
And that's the problem. It takes away from all everything. People. It takes away, even if somebody's watching this right now, going, "I remember one or two," and that's fine. But for the simple fact that there should be blogs and there's rundowns of, best dressed and, who won what award and who was, it should have been all that. Instead, it's not. I'm saying? Will Smith should have been celebrated that night. Right?
He cried.
And he was, though.
Yeah, he was.
If you think about it.
No, he's not. No,
not in the way he should have been, though.
Yeah.
Correct.
Not in the way he should have been.
That's the point I'm saying.
He had in the moment.
The world is separate.
Yeah, he had a standing ovation, even though some of those people probably stood up just because that's what was happening.
Right.
They didn't want to take one of the oddballs or whatever. Even after that, right? Even after that, you had people who celebrated with him in I don't know if they were in a club or in a gala or whatever that was. There was people that were celebrating with him. And I'm sure that there was people that are happy for him and, celebrate because it's a huge accomplishment, but not even a fraction of the type of celebrations and also like the reverend that he would get if that never happened.
Right. That's
the reverence that he would get if that never happened would be like right now we were talking about the fact that he won the Oscar, the movie. Like I never even watched the movie that he won an Oscar for. Like there should have been a lot more light shed on that movie, which in itself is a real moment for the culture. Like the Serena Williams story. That's like, that doesn't get enough media in my attention, in my opinion.
And it's not getting now.
And it won't get it now. Which now that's over moment. Now was the moment for that shit, to take off, to catapult, right?
Right.
You could tell how big of a moment it was for the Williams family. They were all, there front and center, obviously, and they were like confused on how to celebrate. They were like, I mean, that's how I took it. They all look like, yeah,
just take it from so many people.
It's just crazy.
Scared, puzzled, everything in one, bro.
And then it made it a little bit weird because, in the movie, I guess the father is a very strong character, and he was like, I'm like him now. I feel like him now. I'm a protector, and I know they're like, nah, my dad would have never did some shit like that.
My dad ain't even here.
It's kind of weird.
My dad was weird, like for us. My dad was what he was for us, protecting us because we were black in the neighborhoods and they didn't really think we were tennis players. He was like that for us, not on Chris Rock talking that shit on the stage, and he ain't that guy. You know, you may honestly, you know, being if I was illiterate and I wasn't a little bit conscious of that, I would think that Serena Williams, I can't remember his father's the father's name, but whatever his name was, Williams' father was like Michael Jackson's father.
I think his name is Richard. Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the way he described him almost made it seem like he was that type of person, that aggressor, you know, weird, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm
looking for perfection out of his kids.
Yeah, exactly.
They call me the crazy father. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's his reality. I don't know. Maybe that's a good, you know, comparison. I don't know because I don't know the story.
I think his kids are real independent, and you know, I mean, I don't know. I don't even want to jump into their family.
Yeah, I don't want to go into that deep dive on that. But the way that I heard that information that night, it almost made me think, like, is this the same thing as what happened? You know, I'm like, this is crazy right here. I don't even know how you would even say. I think he should just came up there and be like, man, listen, man, I thank you for everything. I'm sorry, everybody, and make the short and sweet. And then he kind of dove into another place. That's what has to tell me, to your point, that he's going through a lot more in life. And I don't know if it's specifically based off of the stuff that she's putting him through. You know, from all that.
It could be everything.
Yeah, I just think it's a lot that he's going through, and it kind of caught up, and he's like
a therapy session.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna go ahead and go ahead and send blame towards her, because I feel like it's been falling apart ever since his red table stuff, and he's, you know, the entanglement, and you know, them sitting down and talking about it in front of the world. I mean, just, you know, I can't relate to them. I don't have that type of money. You know, I don't have that type of lifestyle. But I'm going to tell you right now, if my wife has an entanglement, I'm not sitting down in front of cameras and talking about it. I know that. Mm-hmm. I know that.
So it goes to the point that DT is made. And to your point as well, he was golden until she started doing the red carpet, red table stuff. Now like he said, it's a show that she's talking about personal lives, personal experiences, and she's going through each one. And the entanglement was a part of her life. Mm-hmm. So to his point, she's bringing all this heat.
Right. You never thought to protect Will?
That's my point. You showing respect to somebody that didn't respect you 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, but let me throw in a different narrative there. You guys are assuming that he don't know. He don't know that she's gonna do that already.
Whether he knows or not, I would think that she would take a step back and listen. I'm not gonna do this because I know what this can cause for you.
Right, but
I respect you too much to put this out there like that. Even though I want to be transparent and, you know, I'm one with the earth and whatever type of people they are. Right?
Well, there could be a conversation to be had up front, right? I'm gonna do this show. And part of what I'm doing the show for is to do XYZ, right? Oh, hey, by the way, do you agree with that? Yeah, hey, man, you know,
the show or that episode.
Hold on.
We're gonna always say,
go ahead, do what you
support.
do. Yeah, do what you do.
Yeah,
no, I agree. No, we're not. I don't know about. No, we are not always gonna say yeah, because I'm not a yes man. If I agree with it, I agree with it. If I disagree, I disagree. That's me. I can't speak for everybody else. And Will, whatever he said, I don't even know if this conversation took place, but if it did,
we're assuming it took place.
We're assuming, right? Okay, so she cleared the idea of the show with him up front. Okay, an episode like that, because now it's going to tap into what, you know, our personal relationship looks like. There's going to be a lot of questions. Now they're going to come at you. You know, not what's the people who follow you, paparazzis, and now question you about my life. So I don't want you to hear it from them. I want me to tell you first, just so you know, my next episode I'm filming and we're gonna be talking about this, that, and the third. You know, are you okay with that? Listen, man, I don't, you know, do what you do. I don't care. Like, you guys are assuming that didn't happen.
But it did. But what I'm trying to explain to is, he supported a show. It became his show. He's part of that show now too.
Right. So
he
not really.
I don't think he
didn't have to become part of that show.
Not physically. He's part of her life. So even if she navigates and says, I'm gonna keep it to myself, he's part of that. And he gets burned with everything she says now. She's live saying, my sex life is not great. Who are you talking about? When you say your sex life is not great, who are you talking about? Will Smith. So he's dragged in regardless.
Or part of the open relationship.
We didn't know about the open relationship though.
No, we know about that.
It's still not confirmed.
Yeah, it's not confirmed. We didn't know.
It's not confirmed.
We know about that.
But I didn't say we did, but it's not confirmed.
Hey, bro, so had a baby, it's a boy. We've been knew about that. We've been knew about that. Had a baby, it's a boy.
But all right, so to be fair, let's say you're right about their open relationship, right? Which we don't know.
Okay.
Right. Most people are still going to relate that comment to Will Smith.
Yes,
which one? Which
relates to anything she says that she's had a problem with.
The not having good sex stuff. Which you're right. I'm not denying that. But the point is that personally, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think he cares. I don't think he cares about that.
Last night,
I think
tells me you're wrong.
I think he had a good therapist.
Last night had nothing to do with sex.
It's a build-up.
No. We're not saying. We're not even pinpointing the topics. We're not even saying entanglement was the problem.
Right.
What we're saying is whatever comes.
No, I 100% understand what you're saying. I just think that I don't know, you don't know, we don't know, right?
Yeah. I'm not even disagreeing. I'm assuming it's emotional.
I'm not even disagreeing with you. I do not disagree with the fact that you're saying that all that emotional from that entanglement and all that stuff played a part in, what happened last night. So all that buildup and then last night caused what it caused. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Correct.
I'm just creating another perspective.
Another way. Right. Yeah.
So it's possible that what you're saying is true, but what about if that part didn't affect this part? What if there's a third part that we're not considering, which is, what he's going through in life? Mind you, he's got stuff going on with his kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're dealing with things in life. He's got stuff going on, probably with even himself. He may be even fighting things, himself. You know what I mean? Because I go back to his speech because he said a lot about that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I don't disagree.
And I just don't think I don't think that emotional reaction that we saw from him was. I don't think he could control that. I think that was just like an uncontrollable moment. And I say that to say that all this entanglement stuff, he's been able to control that moment. He even went on her show and talked about it and brought it out even more so.
So let me ask you a question. Dan
can't put me in this.
Has been solid.
Can't put me in this. I'm not that.
No, I'm just gonna give you an example.
Can't put me in this. I'm not that.
I'll use Lance then because I can't give you whatever.
Use Lance because I'm not that.
Lance has been solid this far. You're telling me in all his life, he didn't get negative criticized? You're not gonna tell me he didn't have to be the bigger man? You're saying all that doesn't build up to a last straw? Is what I'm asking.
I'm missing the point.
Because you said we don't know if that made him do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying is he's been perfect. And being perfect means you have to hold so much things in at every given second to be perfect until you're not. And that day he was not. And then he tried to be perfect right after that. After he did what he did, he apologized
right away.
He apologized right away.
I don't see that. I don't see that.
He said he was a protector right after.
That's him being perfect, but because even in that he was flawed. Even his apology wasn't the right way. He should have. He should have apologized to Chris Rock.
To Chris Rock, 1,000%.
You know what I'm saying? That wasn't a perfect apology, and he still wasn't. He's still flawed. And I don't even think up until now he's been perfect. 2-3 days later that he's had time to think about it, because that little written statement apology that he did, I wouldn't be okay with that if I was, a party involved. I think at least. So I don't know. I guess I hear your point.
I'm gonna tell you how bad I'll get.
Agree with it
with that apology? I'd have sued right off the rip. Just because that apology is bullshit. Apology, if you didn't call me physically, because you know my number.
No, all right, so let's be fair. He embarrassed him publicly, So it's only right to apologize publicly. So
I get the call first though.
Maybe he did.
I'm not saying he did, but if I don't get that call first and I see a fucking IG post, I'm suing you.
Yeah.
That's Jerry.
At the end of the day, this was surprising to everybody. We didn't realize that this would happen, but it did happen. When I woke up and heard Will Smith, and Chris Rock, I was like, this can't be real. But it happened to be real.
He slaps like a bit. I'm
at the end of the day, these people are human. Will Smith is human. But when you're wrong, right? Chris Rock is human, but he handled it better than 99% of people would have handled it. So or better than 99% of people that would have handled it. Or been in that position. So at the end of the day, hats off to Chris Rock. Will Smith, showed that he was flawed in that moment. And
what does this do to his career?
Probably nothing, man.
I'm about to tell you, he has his own label now.
I think it leaves
Westbrook's is his.
I think it leaves a stain on his career. Does it catapult him to a new level? No. Does it degrade where he's at? No. But I think it definitely leaves a stain.
Stain?
I think him and Chris Rock fighting Ali too. I don't know. Something like that.
So celebrity boxing?
No, Ali too. The movie. No, the movie. You know what I'm saying? But
So we know Will Smith is going to be Muhammad Ali. So who's Chris Rock going to be? He ain't heavyweight.
Pookie.
Again, I fight you right now, man. but anyway, you guys want to say anything else before we wrap it? I know we got into this, but I guess we gave our thoughts. You have any other final thoughts?
Yeah,
I'm good. Just don't slack nobody.
Yeah, I would just
kids, keep your hands to yourself.
Hey man, when a man speaks, believe him. That's all I would say.
That's it. Well, listen, I know. Usually this is behind the scenes here. We hit record. We're about to get into an episode, but obviously this is on everyone else's minds. So we started to get into it. It wasn't planned, but we're definitely going to release this behind the scenes podcast for you guys, and hopefully you guys enjoy it.
Salute.